What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic. Today we're gonna talk some football. Houston Texans football. Houston Texans made a trade. William O'Brien, general manager William O'Brien, made a trade. So we're gonna talk about. We're gonna break it down. I'm gonna give you my little 2 cents, especially because it's something that I've been clamoring for. I've been talking about making a trade at this or making a move at this position for a long time. Ever since you lost Booty, I've been talking about this position specifically, video after video. So we're gonna talk about. I'm gonna give you my little 2 cents about this. On Monday, the Houston Texans made a trade with Oakland for a cornerback named Gareon Conley, former first round pick. He actually came out the same year as Sean Watson in 2017. Um, Drafted 24 overall. So we're gonna break down this actual trade because I'm gonna start off like this. I was clamoring for a trade. I was in the mindset and the hoping that the Houston Texans would go after Patrick Peterson. That's who I wanted. I would take Chris Harris if we were able to get Chris Harris Jr. But my main objective, the person I want the most, is Patrick Peterson. And I said, I take Chris Harris. To be honest, those two moves just weren't able to be made. One because Arizona won again, and now we're 3-3-1. Now, if the Cardinals were 1-5-1 or 0-6-1, something like that, then I think Patrick Peterson would have been on the market because they're at 500. They believe that they have a shot to maybe sneak into the playoffs or whatever it is. Okay, so they're trying to win. They're not trying to tank. They're trying to win because they have a decent record. They have a 500 record. So they're in the mindset of trying to win. So they're not trying to hold. They're not trying to get rid of Patrick Peterson. And I think that Chris Harris is available, but I think Denver's asking price was just too high, and the Texans didn't want to do it. I guess more likely because of age. Chris Harris is 30. Patrick Peterson is 29, about to be 30. Like I said, Chris Harris is 30, going on 31. So the prices might have been too high for guys who you have to pay, and who are older guys that you probably would have at maximum for 3 years at peak level. They can only help you for the next 3 years. So they went out and got a cornerback who was available, who was a younger guy that they felt that they were able to get from the Oakland Raiders, and that's Gareon Conley, cornerback. Now, talk about him, about the trade first, because once I found out the actual details of the trade, I felt better about the Pacific trade than I did initially. Come like a third round pick. Who is he doing? What? Okay, it happens to be the third round pick. It happens to be Seattle's third round pick. So it's not a third round pick that we have control over. And come to find out that the third, like, if Duke plays more than 10 games, the fourth that we gave to Cleveland turns into a third. Well, it's not even our third. It's actually a compensatory third pick. So the Texans still have their second. They gave their first in the Tunsil trade. So the Texans have their second. They still have their original third, and then they still have another compensatory pick, either from they have another compensatory pick out of the Kareem Jackson and Honey Badger signings, because you're gonna get two third round compensatory picks from those two players. So one of those will be traded for Duke. So if Duke plays more than 10 games, he's already at 7. So if he plays 3 more games, you're going to lose a compensatory pick, but you're going to gain your fourth back, and you already have Miami's fourth. So the way it's looking, you're going to have your second, your third, uh, a compensatory third, Miami's fourth, and your fourth. So that's how it's looking at in the first 4 rounds of the draft, and that's how the picks are looking to unfold for the Houston Texans going forward. So under that, I can accept this a little bit more because it's not our third round pick. It's the third round pick that's controlled by Seattle. So it has nothing to do. Seattle can go undefeated or win the Super Bowl. And that's a horrible third round pick. It's at the end of the third round. Now Seattle could not win no more games and be in the top 10. Then it's a higher third round pick, but it's not nothing that's in the Texans' control. So I'm good on that front. Now let's talk about Gareon Conley. Like I said, he's a former first round pick, has some talent. My biggest question is, why would you punt on a first round pick, not only this early, but for a third round pick? That's under concern. Like, I can see you trading the former first round pick if you get in a 2 and a 1 or something like that, but to give them up for just a third, when you hear that, you're like, huh? That gives you cause to pause. It kind of raises the eyebrow a little bit. Like, why are you giving up? Why are you only accepting a third? What's the problem here? So I went back and I've been watching a lot of film. That's another reason why it took me a while to make this video, because I want to watch a lot of film. I watched a lot of film on them, and Like I said, he's a guy who's good at man to man, not so good at zone. His weakness is smaller, shiftier receivers. And part of the reason why, because the dude has horrible hands. He has horrible hand technique. He does not. He has horrible hand placement. He doesn't jam at the beginning of a route. He leaves too much of a cushion, and when it's a smaller receiver, he doesn't put his hands on, so he's not filling the route. So on those quick, when receivers running quick little 2-3 yard routes to get a quick first down, when it's 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 3, and they need a quick like 4 yard route, he allows that because he's not getting his hands on the corner on the receiver to fill the route. So when they're throwing back shoulder fades or when the receiver makes a quick little move, because he's not filling the route, he doesn't have his hands on the receiver, he's letting them slip by. He can make the tackle, but they get him the catch to get the first down. That's one of his biggest problems, that he's not putting his hands on the receivers. But the good thing about that is that's something that can be fixed. That's something that can be coached out. I think the most problem is they're probably growing up in high school and in college, that he was more likely one of the most talented players, and he was able to make plays. And coaches just allowed him to get away with sloppy mechanics, just allowed him to get away with sloppy technique because he was better than pretty much everybody that they faced. So he was making plays, so they didn't go by it. Because a lot of coaches, some coaches, you have coaches who want to teach the game and make sure that you get everything right. And you got some coaches who want to win. They don't care. They'll run the ball 110 times with one dude because they know that he cannot be stopped, just so he can win a high school football game. I've been there. I've seen it happen. Not actually teaching the game. Not teaching the game. So that's something that's probably what happened with him. That's the reason why he got all the way to this level without being taught proper hand techniques. I think that's something that can be fixed. Because luckily, he's only in year 3. He's not in year 6 and 7. Now, if he was in year 6 and 7 and he had bad hands, you can't teach that, because now it's kind of hard to teach a new dog new tricks. He's still early on in his stage of his NFL career that you can help teach him new techniques and help him use hands, because he's shown flashes of doing it. It's not like he never does it. He has put his hands on receivers. He has able to fill routes. He just doesn't do it consistently. That's what you need to coach him on. Now, I don't expect him to come out there Sunday or against 2 weeks from now against Jacksonville, be able to put his hands on receivers and everything gonna be good and great. I don't expect it to get fixed in the next couple of weeks. It's gonna take some time. Probably not even this year. Probably next year. You'll see better hand techniques. So I'm not expecting him to go out there this year and have better hands, because he has to get into the groove of doing it. But the dude has a lot of talent. He's fast. He has long arms. One thing he likes to do, he likes to bait receivers and quarterbacks. He likes to trick them and make them feel that the receiver's open. And for a lot of times, he makes plays on that. But also, he gets caught. He gets caught sometimes. Sometimes you like I say, you live by the 3, you die by the 3. You have to playing with receivers and making them think they open. You try to hurt it because you're real fast and you can get there and make a play on the ball. Sometimes that don't work real well. Sometimes you get caught sleeping because sometimes that quarterback and that receiver are just that damn good that even though you feel that you're talented, they're just as talented, or they're just as slippery, or faster, and things of that nature. So they're able to make plays, and you like, damn, why'd you let them go like that? I know a lot of people like, well, hey, I seen this film right here, he's getting burned, blah 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 blah. Like, this is something about corners, and there's somebody I went to school with that you know who I'm talking to. I'm not gonna blast you. I'm not gonna put your name blast, but you know who I'm talking. You know who I'm talking. You know who I'm talking about. You know who you is. But me and him had the same conversation all the time about Kareem Jackson. Sometimes when Kareem Jackson was getting burnt, he wasn't really getting burnt. He was playing underneath and was expecting safety help over the top. He was playing underneath and the safety was supposed to be over the top. But the safety didn't roll over in time. The receiver catches the ball and he turns around like, damn, now he's trailing. Now he looks like he got burnt. We don't know. I don't know every coverage that they're doing right now. I'm not like, I have to watch the actual play to know the coverage. I can't just, because sometimes you can't, you can't tell what the coverage is on the game copy because it's only showing part of the field. It's not showing the whole field. It's not showing the whole 22. I have to rewatch the game and watch the whole 22 to see exactly what coverages they're running. So sometimes sometimes when you see your corner getting burnt, sometimes he's not getting burnt. Sometimes it's just he was expecting help over the top, and the safety didn't come over the top. So some of those plays that Conley did look like he got burnt. I watched some of them, like it was against Aaron Rodgers last week against Green Bay. It was a couple times he got beat that he really didn't get beat. He was playing underneath. He was expecting help over the top, and the help didn't roll over in time. So it made the appearance that he got beat, but he didn't really get beat. Um, it it looked like it could pay. It could pay well because of the youth. I mean, you're talking about a guy who's only 24. He has all the physical gifts and the talents. Has some injury concerns. Missed a lot of time his rookie. I think he only played 2 games his rookie year, but he played all 15. He played 15 to 16 games last year and played very well last year. Actually, had a couple pass deflections, had a couple picks, had pick six on Baker Mayfield. His production in 2 games in this first year, 6 games this year, and 15 games last year is better than any production of better of the complete production of a player like Kevin Johnson. His production is already better than Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson was drafted 15th. So he looked like he could be better. People ask me, what do I feel about the trade? I believe it's a move. I'm in wait and see because I'm not expecting him to come out here and be the number one corner. I'm not expecting I'm not expecting him to come out there and be an All-Pro. Do I want him to be an All-Pro? Yes. But the way I'm looking at it now, I'm going to look at this as that he's our third round pick. So I want he's our third round pick. So I'm gonna grade him on a third round curve. Even though he's a first round pick, he's not our first round pick. I know Oakland people talk about we fleeced the Texans. You can't fleece us. You know why you can't fleece us? Y'all the ones who drafted them number one. Y'all drafted him with a first round pick. We didn't give y'all a first round pick for him. We gave y'all a third round pick. We gave y'all a third round pick. So y'all spent $100 on something and then sold it for $20. You still losing $80. You lost $80. Like that. That's what it is. I spent $100 on this, and I'm gonna give it to you for $20. I still lost. I lost $80. Oh, we were gonna cut him anyway. If you cut him, you was losing the first round pick and didn't get nothing. Like so, it's not even our third round pick. It's a throwaway third round pick. So we bought low. We bought low. And if it pays off, it pays off. And it doesn't, it doesn't. But one, it's not our third round pick. It's Seattle's third round pick for one. And if we get something, because out of a third round pick, all you expect is a solid starter. That's all I need. Yes, I want an All-Pro. I want a Pro Bowler. I want all that. But if I can get a good, solid, quality starter, I can take that. Same thing with Roby. Same thing with Lyon Johnson. If you tell me you have 3 good, solid corners, all 3 of them got to be all pros. But if all 3 of them are good and solid and serviceable, that's all this offense needs. Like I said, my concern with this defense is not that they're going to give up 500 yards and 5 touchdowns a game. My concern is that on the crucial plays, in the crucial 5 minutes a game, when Deshaun does his Deshaun thing, he out there making magic happen and get a touchdown to win the game or lead the game. You don't allow them to come back and get the game and come back and score the game-winning touchdown or get the game time to win field goal, like in New England, like in Seattle, like in Philly, like in New Orleans. And like in Indianapolis last year, even though the Texans were able to win in overtime, but remember, they was up by 8 when Andrew Luck drove all the way down the field, drove 90-some yards down the field, not only scored a touchdown, but got a 2-point conversion to send it to overtime. You let Drew Brees this year. You let Nick Foles last year. Deshaun's rookie year. You let Russell Wilson, you let Tom Brady. Those are the type of things that I'm worried about. That right there. That's what I'm worried about. So I just need good, solid play. And you telling me that these guys could be, it could pay dividends. It could be a smart move because of the youth. But like I said, I wanted Patrick Peterson. Or I'll take Chris Harris. But this guy is 24. He's 6 years younger. So you tell me I got a 24-year-old in him. I got a 26, 27-year-old in Roby. And then I got Lyon Johnson. I think Lyon Johnson's 21. Justin Reed's 21. I got some young hogs in the secondary. This secondary could be solidified. I'm not saying it is. Trust me, I'm not saying that it is. I'm saying it's potentially because you have 2 guys, 2 former Buckeyes who also happen to be first round picks, which means they have talent. Both of them are fast. Like Lyon Johnson, the big strapping dude with Lyon Johnson's with 6'2", 200 some pounds. This dude here is 6 foot. I think Roby's the smallest. I think Roby's like 5'11". So you got big long corners. They're fast. They can all play man. They which I prefer the Texans to play. That's when the Texans were the #1 defense back in 16. They played the most man coverage in the NFL when they had AJ Bouye. We didn't have the corners to do it. After AJ left, we no longer have the corners to play man coverage. Now we do. We have guys who excel in man coverage who not that well in zone. And I think that this defense possibly could fit him more than that. That's why he was a disappointment in Oakland. Because this defense probably fits him more than Oakland's defense. And don't get it wrong, Oakland's still missing out on their best corner. Because I was looking at Oakland's film. Oakland is getting torched all over the place. Like, he wasn't the problem. It wasn't like, oh, it wasn't like a Colvin situation. You get rid of him and it's gonna fix their defense. Now, it is a concern that they punted on a first round pick so quickly. You also got to take into consideration that Matt Mayock and John Gruden didn't draft him, so he wasn't their pick, neither the coach or the general manager. So that is in consideration. Remember, these are all the same guys who let go of Khalil Mack and Mark Cooper. I know they got 3 firsts for those guys, but they still allow talent to walk out the building. So it's not like they are. It's not like they knew to letting talent walk out the building. So I'm not expecting them to come out here to be the best corner in the league or the best corner on the team, because I still think that still falls on Bradley Roby's shoulders. I think the pressure is really on Bradley Roby, because he's the one who's fighting for a contract. We still got this dude under control for the next 3 years. We got this year, we have next year, and we have he's a first round pick. We have a 50-year option. So he's under team control for the next 3 years. So he doesn't have any pressure, and he doesn't have that first round, oh, I gotta live with to being the first round pick pressure. He has to live with to being the 3rd round pick. So as long as he's a good, solid starter, I'm okay with the move. If he's a good, solid starting corner, well, I mean he's a legitimate starting corner. Not just he's a starter just because he played for the Texans. I need him to be a legitimate starting cornerback. If he is at least that, I can accept this trade, because you only give up a 3rd round pick. You didn't give up a 1st and you didn't give up a 2nd. You're more likely going to draft a cornerback anyway with this pick. Now you just get the process early. You get the process early and you got quote unquote 1st round talent. We'll see if that manifests and gets on the field. So I'm okay with the trade. I'm not in love with the trade. I'm okay with it. I see what they're doing. You had to make a move. Corners and safeties was dropping like flies against Indianapolis. Indianapolis was torching us. Everybody's running wide open. But I think if you can get him healthy, if he can stay healthy, I think that this can be worth. I think this could be it. I think that this might be the system for him. And Lyon Johnson and Roby together, all 3 of these guys together, I think the nucleus could fit. And I think that they can piggyback off each other, and you could probably do some special things with them. Probably the way you could do, you could double with Lonnie and him. You could probably do some special things depending on the receiver matchups. I think that this could work out. I think this could work out. I think it might be, especially seeing what we actually gave up. We bought very low, and I think that it could pay off. And if it doesn't, it's not your 3rd round pick. That's all. It's not your 3rd round pick. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Comment below if you haven't. Click that bell. Get more videos. I holla.